At the Alaska summit, Putin is expected to offer President Trump financial incentives as he pushes for U.S. backing of Russia's peace terms in Ukraine, coupled with talks of economic cooperation.
What did I always say when you're dealing with Trump? What do you have to follow, Sam?
The dinero.
The dinero. Follow the money. Trump is always about the money. And this is actually in my book way back in 2017. We knew all about Trump then. You know, none of this should be anything new. But at any rate, I pointed out that as early as the early 21st century, early in the first decade, his great dream was to erect the biggest Trump Tower ever. And you know where he wanted to put that, Sam?
Moscow.
In Moscow. And he worked really hard to try to get that as a reality. Then flash forward to the 2016 campaign, and he was working with Felix Sater, a marginal, perhaps criminal according to some reports, who somehow had an in at the Kremlin. And in the middle of a campaign, when he said, we have nothing to do with the Russians, what was he trying to do once again, Sam?
Tell me.
Build a Trump Tower in Moscow. Of course, he lied about it, but ultimately the truth came out. So don't dismiss the idea that Putin can manipulate Trump with this reanimating this dream of this magnificent Trump Tower in Moscow or some other way of lining Trump's pockets. There are two ways you get to Trump. Do you think it's through a detailed geopolitical analysis, Sam?
No.
No. Two things. As we've said, the money and his ego. Look
Right.
how Kim Jong-un played him, by flattering him, by playing to his ego. Putin has played him for years by flattering him and playing to his ego. Those are the two things. You know, that's the two ways you get to Trump. I don't know what's going to come out tomorrow out of that summit meeting, but I'm very, very cautious about it. You know, I'm hopeful, but I'm cautious. You don't solve a war by only sitting down with the aggressor who caused the war. I thought we learned that from the disastrous failure of appeasement of Hitler prior to the outbreak of World War II in Europe. So we'll see what happens. And I'm also appalled by the fact that Trump seems to have given away the game before it's even started. You know, he's supposed to be the great negotiator, and Negotiation 101 says you don't tip your hand before the negotiations, but he's already said, oh yeah, there's going to be land swaps. You will reward the aggressor, the guy who perpetrated atrocities, who targeted civilians with land swaps. And that, of course, is contrary to anything that the Ukrainians had agreed to. You know, maybe what he'll do is arrange a land swap and give Alaska back to Russia.
You think so?
Oh, who knows? You know, if Putin says, I'll give you Trump Tower if you give us Alaska, you know, Trump might take that deal.
So I'm seeing that the meeting is expected to take place on 3:30 on the East Coast tomorrow.
So we're considering a special show tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
What time would we do it? Regular time? Probably.
I don't know. It's going to be Friday, so we should probably do it earlier rather than later. People go out Friday night.
They do?
You don't?
I used to.
Then what happened?
No, I still do. What time? We can't make it too early because we need to get the results.
Right, I don't know.
And we don't know when the results, maybe 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
But stay tuned. You know, if it's just a big bust and nothing happens, which I'd be surprised. I think something will happen one way or the other. We'll plan on about a 6 o'clock special show on the Putin-Trump meeting.
It's interesting. I kind of have a feeling that nothing's going to happen. Or if something's going to happen, we're not going to know about it for
That's also
days.
Possible. Or they're going to lie about it.
They're definitely going to lie about it.
Yeah.
They're definitely going to come out.
You got two of the worst liars in history.
I mean, they're definitely going to come out, no matter what happens, they're going to come out and say, well, I don't know.
They'll come out and say, a constructive meeting. They always say that, right?
I don't know, but Trump has lately been a little bit more, at least vocal against Putin. At least through his speech, not through his actions. But he has come out and says, "Oh, I'm a little mad at Putin, et cetera, et cetera." But I agree that the chances are they're going to come out and say, President Trump is the best negotiator ever. He knows what he's doing. It was tremendously constructive, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, this war would never have happened if Trump had been president. He's the only one who could end this war.
Right.
It raged under Biden. You know the kind of rhetoric that's going to come out of this.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll know whether anything substantive has come out of it, and if so, what, by 6 p.m. Eastern.
Right. My first most solid prediction is if we're not going to know anything by tomorrow evening. That's
we may not. But everything leaks. So
my second is that this is going to cause nothing to change.
I'm not sure I agree with that. Yeah, I think there are going to be some big concessions to Putin.
Okay.
Maybe in terms of lands. Trump wants a Nobel Prize. And he thinks he's going to get a Nobel Prize by stopping the war in Ukraine. And he doesn't care what he has to give up to Putin to get that end.
Fair.
He doesn't care. He would give Putin all of Ukraine if he could, if he thought that would win him the Nobel Prize and stop the war.
Fair. Let's do a poll, Savannah. Ask, what do you think will come out of the summit? Something or nothing? Or is that too vague?
No, that's good.
Okay.
Something significant or nothing significant.
Yeah, something significant or nothing significant.
Yeah, let's put that up. That's a great poll.
Thanks.